Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club, your number one stop for stellar reviews of volumes, arcs, or stories that us or yourselves choose. You can find us live every Wednesday on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and the replay on all podcast networks. Take a seat, get yourselves and your opinions ready, as it's time to join the herd. But first, please put your hands together for your hosts, Shane, Phil, and Scott, as they kick off this week's discussion. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. My name is Scott, and I'm joined, as always, by my bestest, nerdiest comic-y buds. We have Philip.
Hello.
Have we got Shane?
Oh, hoi hoi.
There we go. And today we are talking about a book that's been picked by the herd last week. It was picked by Liam. Thank you very much for picking this. We are going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 Legacy. We're going to be talking about issues 1 to 6. This was published originally in 2008. The trade was published in 2009. Written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning. Art by Paul Pelletier and Rick Magia. Colors by Nathan Fairbairn and Guru EFX. And letters by Joe Caramagna. Probably the biggest creative team we've ever had to read out on this, haven't we?
It's much. Always for you when you're hosting. You get the most names and the most difficult.
It's always me. I love it. I love the challenge. That's what it's like. So that's what we're talking about. Let's give a quick hi-de-ho to everyone this year so far. We got Martin. Evening all. Evening, Martin. Thank you for joining. We've got the boys from This Week in Metropolis. Good evening, chaps. Good evening, boys. Thank you for joining. We got Liam. Howdy-ho. This is a guy, he picked the book, but he's not able to join. He apologizes for not being able to join us. However, he will be in the chat once he's finished the comic. Shame. We need the shame bell. Shame. We need, he messaged me about 20 minutes ago saying, there's only 5 issues in this, right? And I was like, nope, 6, crack on. So he's going to jog on there. So hopefully he'll finish soon. But he has sent a page in, so that's good. And we've got Kevin as well. Evening all. Evening, Kev. How you doing? Thank you for joining, mate. Yes. Right. So let's get a bit of a synopsis, shall we? I'll try my best. A lot happened in this, so it's really hard to try to culminate it all. I think the main focus of this story was the fact that they were trying to close these time fissures, these space-time fissures that were happening, and they could potentially destroy or break something in the universe. So the Guardians of the Galaxy got together and they tried to fix all these. But then in the middle of that, we have, what do we have? We have an invasion from Starstalker. Is that what his name was?
Hawk.
Starhawk. Yes. Then he/she appeared. We had Captain Victory.
Major Victory. Did you read this book, Scott?
Oh God, I don't think I did. So that kind of Major Victory and Starhawk coming in caused this big universal council to step in and stop the Guardians of the Galaxy from leaving nowhere where they were based, and a bit of some heads are butting together then to try Adam Warlock is like, we need to go and save the universe by closing these fissures, but Star-Lord wants to try and keep the peace within nowhere, and causes a big team disruption there. And we also find out a little bit that the team was only formed because of some light hypnosis / mind control from Mantis as well, and there's a bit of a fissure itself in the team. Look at that. But yeah, there we go.
Wordplay.
Thank you very much. I'm here all night. But yeah, there's your summary. I say summary. It's more of a gist.
You forgot the scrolls.
Oh, the scrolls come in as well. Yeah, the last 2 or 3 issues of this are linked with Secret Invasion. So this is our second book that we've read on the Nerdhood that is related to Secret Invasion without us actually reading Secret Invasion. So I wonder how many other books and tie-ins we could get in before we actually
We
get to
do all
reading
of
Secret
them and just
Invasion.
never read the main story.
Imagine that. Imagine that. But yes, a lot happens. There's 6 issues, a lot packed into this story. So let's unpack this now on the Nerdhood, and we'll start off with Shane. Phil, I know you had a busy night, so I'll give you 5 minutes to adjust. So Shane, if you wouldn't mind letting us know what you initially thought of the book.
Initially, like when I finished, I was like, that was a bit busy. I felt like so much was just crammed into these 6 issues. I feel like it could have been slowed down and spread out a little bit. Retroactively, as I'm thinking about it, my brain is filtering out the bits that I didn't really care about, so I enjoyed it a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
I enjoyed the team dynamics. I enjoyed the creation of the team, finding out why they were put together and how. I have a major problem with like mind control being a factor in these things. It's a horrible way to bring a team together. But what a great starting point for the team. And
It's good drama.
It's fantastic drama because now the team are never ever going to trust anything that they think for themselves, because if Mantis can just snap her fingers and make them do what she wants, what chance do you have? But when the scrolls turned up, not reading Secret Wars, Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
My only scroll knowledge is like Super Scroll from Fantastic Four, so I'm not accustomed to these characters. I know of them thanks to other media, but I don't really know if they're meant to be good guys, if I'm meant to feel for them or not. So that was a little bit. I know Cosmo is saying, Cosmo's like, they're refugees, they want our help. But to me, I don't know. So I was a little bit lost.
Yeah.
I know this is the start of the book. Like they get the name Guardians in this because they're going through names, what they want to call their team.
Yeah.
So even though it's a starting point, they do reference quite a lot of things that happened before that I didn't know about, like the 2 galactic wars.
Like whilst this is volume 1, this is, if we're looking at like the grand scheme of things, this is Guardians of the Galaxy volume 2. You know what I mean? This is like the second big run of Guardians of the Galaxy volume 2. But we're starting at issue 1. But why? This is what, like, why is that? What have we missed? Have we missed anything? Is it a reboot? Is it just some stuff we should just assume and just take for granted that these wars had happened? Things like that. I wasn't too put off by it. Again, I was like, maybe this is just something I just need to take on the chin and go, okay, that happened, and I'm assuming it may be a book I could read if I wanted to read about these wars or something, if they did actually happen.
Annihilation Conquest was the big event that happened before this, and there is a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, but it's not Star-Lord and Drax. It's a completely different team. It happened way in the early 90s. So Star-Lord was kind of like a nothing character until Annihilation Conquest kind of brought him into it more.
Okay.
And that's the wars they're referencing. So you are right in the fact that if you know something's went on, you don't need to know it in terms of how you had read the event, but know that there was something that happened, brought this team together, and here we go. So I do still think it is a good starting point. However, if you're like a completionist, you want to know everything, you can go back and piece it together yourself. But
so is this the start of the team that we know from like the MCU, like Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, Groot?
That's when they would have been together in the event. But they weren't a team as such. It was just like all the heroes, like everyone good for Marvel, were just fighting everyone bad for Marvel, especially in the cosmic universe. So
I suppose because it was 2008-ish, I suppose they had to compete with DC's Infinite Crisis at the time because that was their big event. So Marvel needed a big event to go side by side. Makes sense.
Okay. So this is... Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, before we move on, I have really one question that's really bugging me. So live on YouTube, Shane has his little Superman house coat and his Batman t-shirt. Please tell me you're wearing Wonder Woman pajama bottoms. Please.
Boxers, Wonder Woman boxers.
That's okay. That's okay. Just you had to make the Trinity complete. That's just all I wanted to hear.
Always wear the Trinity.
I'm glad it wasn't the lasso.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's by my bed.
Moving on.
Cool. Let's have a quick hi to Lewis. He's joined in as well. Howdy doody. Hey Lewis, thanks for joining, mate. Hope you're doing okay. What was I going to say? Yeah, so this is a good starting point then. For people. So yeah, even though this is, Guardians of the Galaxy, legacy issue, whatever, how many it is, this could be an issue 1.
Yeah, for this incarnation of this team, this is where you'd want to start in terms of like the movies and what the general Joe public know about the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the starting point, definitely. So if you wanted to go back after watching the movies and read about this would be it. Interestingly enough, as well, with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie coming out, they've seen pictures of Star-Lord wearing this exact outfit, and it's got people a lot of excitement. They're very happy about that.
Cool.
I have a massive problem with Star-Lord's design in this. I feel like, don't you feel like he looks like a German officer? Like he has the German costume, he has the helmet and the gas mask. He looks like a World War II German officer. And I couldn't unsee it throughout the entire book.
Yeah, there's something definitely like historic about what he's wearing. Yeah, I didn't quite click as maybe it's German World War II-esque, but yeah, I definitely got the vibe of some sort of World War II type historical.
See, I didn't think of it, but now that you've mentioned it, I don't think I'll ever not
unsee
it. I'm not unsee it. I'm not seeing any differently, But at the times when he was in battle, sure he had the red, but whenever he was casual in the ship with his no mask on, he was blue, wasn't he? Just blue. There was no red. Am I wrong?
Say that again.
And his casual kind of clothes, whenever they weren't out fighting and stuff, they were just wearing the blue. He wasn't wearing red, was he?
Yeah, I think you're right. Just I'm trying to have a quick flick through. Yeah, it's slightly navy-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe depend on the lighting that's going on. I don't know.
But I like this outfit. Like I say, there are a lot of people that are fans of this run who are very excited to see that happen in the movie. Again, I've never read this before, but Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning, they're known for their cosmic stuff. They love the cosmic stuff.
Yeah, right.
And just touching on something like Shane said about being busy, sometimes I love the cosmic stuff. Sometimes I detest it because they do put too much into it. Like there's a lot of cities and worlds and planets and different species of aliens, and you're just kind of thrown information. That's just like it's hard to keep a lot of it in. And in this story overall, there was quite a lot of things happen. But I think the overarching thing was obviously the team together and to kind of set that kind of benchmark how this team's going to be, which we now know they can never trust Star-Lord or Mantis. So that could be good going forward.
If you are a fan of this, this story or these writers in particular, then you can go ahead. There are big collections in there. You can get the omnibus, I think, the Abbott and Lanning omnibus, or I think you can get it split up into 2 smaller collected books if you wanted as well. So if it is something you want to get into and read as well, but get more of, then go ahead and look at those. Liam's back. He says, "I'm here now." He's finished reading. I thought this was a good jumping on point, he says. The references to previous events intrigued me, but didn't take me out of the book. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's hitting on the head there. Yeah, it's something that you could just go, oh, okay, maybe I'll look into that. But it's not written in such a way that you feel like you're gonna miss out on something mentioned in this story because you haven't read that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I get that with some books, but no, I think it's handled quite well. It just mentions it quickly, and then it gets back to the main story at hand. Yeah,
I agree.
What did you guys think of the art then?
Overall, I thought, it's not spectacular, but it's fine. It's nice. I'm not really sure if I've read anything from that this artist has done before, but I liked it. It was kind of as you would expect from a Marvel cosmic thing. It's just
Classic Marvel, I think.
Yeah.
It's very 2000s.
Mhm.
Very, very 2000s. I mean, Gamora could not possibly be wearing any less, could she?
To be fair, Adam Warlock is topless most of the time as well in the second half
And
of
Drax.
the volume. Yeah, Drax is always topless. Yeah.
But most of the faces I really liked.
Mhm.
Drax in particular. I know he's a simple face because it's just a round head, but like I think he was done really well. I did have a bit. I had a massive problem with Rocket. He looked like a cat.
Same. Yeah. Jarring. Really.
His face is squished and
yeah.
long, and it's very Weasel-esque more than Raccoon.
Yeah. No, totally agree there. But I was really impressed with some of the splash pages we got and the more like, can I say the zoomed out pages? I know they're not zoomed out. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing a lot of stuff in some particular pages. They're not close up to faces or things going on.
You can tell Scott's used to like computer screens zoomed out. Instead of full page, he calls it zoomed out.
Zoomed out. You know what I mean? Far away from what's actually going on. So yeah, those pages are very impressive. But then the only thing I want to say about the art is that like the first 2 issues, I think were quite impressive with, the areas we were in, the kind of things we were seeing, the colors and everything. But then after that, when they were all back in nowhere, everything was just gray and silver and just in these kind of monotoned colored areas. It's like a typical space station kind of thing, and everything's gray and silver. So I think after that point, everything was a bit I guess dull. The only colorful things there were the characters, and if they used any powers, very like contrasting wise, very good. Drax is green, so him walking around in a gray silver place he's gonna pop out. But yeah, the environment
is also green. Mantis is also green. The Skrulls are also green. It's like,
damn it, everyone's green.
There's a sale on green that month at Marvel.
But yeah, so yeah, that was my opinion on the art. Great the first 2 issues, but then you're pretty much focusing on the characters after that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think for the first 2 issues, we have those kind of real cinematic shots of like the ship and the church, whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called. The church of something or another.
Universal Church.
Yeah, and then again into nowhere and into the space station or whatever. And if the story took it there, if the story had been more expansive,
yeah,
we would have had more expansive art, I suppose. Yeah. Really, that's the part I didn't like in the story wise, in terms of there was a lot of stuff at nowhere. For this team that's going to go out and fight and all these cosmic whatever, they're just stuck in nowhere for like 3 issues.
Yeah,
and again, we would have had more of that spectacular looking art if they were out venturing, fighting, whatever, and they weren't, which is a shame.
Totally.
But overall, I think all the designs were pretty good. Even the fact that the Gamora obviously changed whenever she got burnt. Remember, they burned by her skin, so she wasn't just green; she was like a grey-green towards the end with a cloak.
Yeah,
and I thought they all looked really cool, drawn really well. Again, Rocket's same thing. His face wasn't. It's just not what you're used to, really.
It's just not as cute and fluffy as what we're used to in the MCU kind of stuff, isn't it?
Because you want him to be cute and fluffy, but then be nasty when he has to be. That's the thing.
Yeah. Martin saying he didn't like Rocket's design either. Liam, though, he says the art didn't blow me away overall. Wasn't a fan of Rocket's face. It was like a furry Stewie Griffin. But there were some very good pages.
There's actually, I have to find it now, because there's one page of Rocket's face and then underneath is Cosmo, and it looks like the Grinch and his dog.
Right. Yeah.
I'll find it.
Okay, all right. We'll talk amongst ourselves. Kevin also says he only read the first 2 issues. He thought his work looked a lot like Mark Bagley's art. I don't know who he is. Phil, do you?
Yeah. For example, he's done the Ultimate Spider-Man, and there is very similar stuff. I thought to this. Terry Dodson too. I can't think what panel he's thinking of, but the Dodsons they do nice face work.
Yeah.
So. Yes, I definitely did not see Dodson's art in this book. I'm a massive Terry and Rachel Dodson fan, so I would have noticed that.
There it is. Yeah. You'll clock that straight away.
I'd be like, safe!
Okay, so let's get onto our pages then, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a look at what we've all picked. Liam has also sent one in as well. So let's see what we've all got then. So we'll go clockwise then. So Phil, we'll start with you, mate.
Yeah, it was just that, there's a few different splash pages throughout this book, and I pick one of those. There's like 6 of those you could pick, and this is the one I've went with, really. And it was just the idea that the Cosmo looking this kind of fierce and these big sharp teeth, and I just like the kind of atmosphere it had with them two kind of squaring off whenever he discovers the scrolls.
Yeah,
obviously all like the blue and the lightning and I can't think what Cosmo. What's his power again? What can he do? Is it like
some sort of like telekinesis?
Yeah, like a blast, like a sonic blast or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And
like a TK blast, like Supergirl.
Yeah. So you see it obviously coming from him there, and I'm terrible at remembering names. Adam Warlock, obviously.
Yeah.
He gets the better of him, and I just think this page looks really cool for action. And I think even though there was action throughout this book, I still feel like there was a lack of action. If you know what I mean, strangely. I know it sounds really odd.
There's too much.
Oh, really? But there was a lot of talking, a lot of that. But in terms of, I think there should be more action scenes at times. When it was right, maybe, I suppose. But yeah, I just thought this was really cool. Nice colors.
I was completely surprised that Cosmo could go toe to toe with Adam Warlock.
I know, like, considering what little I know about him, to be honest, like, I know he's had a little bit more in the MCU with the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. He's in there a little bit.
Spoilers.
It's not really. But it's the very this is a totally different side of me seeing Cosmo and what he's capable of and how strong he can actually be. Has he ever been this strong in other things he's been written into, or was this just the writers going, you know what, Cosmo's a bit underused, let's make him a bit overpowered for this? But yeah, really cool page. I like that as well. A lot of blue, but a lot of cool blue, Shane?
I love a good montage of characters getting ready. Like the start, it reminds me of the start of like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, where you see him putting on his clothes. I just think it looks so cool. They're all just gearing up, getting ready, and how cool does it look? Like, you got your German officer at the top there, and then gorgeous Gamora in the middle, and a brand new Quasar this way. Because I didn't know there was a female Quasar. I know the male Quasar. So she was interesting. I really like her, like the way she looks, like a sort of a futuristic, but also a ancient knight.
Yeah, like a Templar type.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
With this page too, you could really hear the sounds they're making. From the gun, from even the leather glove, kind of screeching up or whatever. You can hear all these sound effects just by what look at this page. It's really cool. I was going to pick us myself, but Shane
beat you to it.
Damn it.
Log on sooner.
Log on sooner, Phil. Yeah. Like I totally agree with Phil. Like I was reading these going, what's the first one? Muklak, and then you got Fluke, and then you got Tizum. It's just I enjoyed it, and making those noises in my head while reading it was something that really added to the page. Really cool.
Because that would be like the intro to the animated series, wouldn't it? Like them putting their costumes on like that.
Yeah, definitely. Move on to mine. This is what I mean about the zoomed out pictures, right? The zoomed out drawing. You're seeing a lot going on. Like you're very far away from the main parts going on, and you're seeing the kind of vehicle they're in. Originally you just think they're in a church. This is from the first issue, by the way. You think they're just in some sort of church, but it turns out they are in a church, but it's on a spaceship, driving towards one of these fissures that the Guardians of the Galaxy try to subdue throughout the story. But it just looks so cool. I love the angle that it's all being drawn at. I love the colors. I love the speed conveyed, in the engines at the back. It just looks awesome. Really epic, I thought.
Yeah.
I took some time to look at this page and liked it myself, but do you know the one thing that put me off it? I'm not trying to put you off it, Scott. It's your favorite.
Wow, whatever.
It's just because, again, I want to bring up Daniel Warren Johnson. I'm a big fan of his stuff, and he'd done pages like these similar shots like this on his Better A Bill miniseries, and they're so much better than this. But this is still really, really good. If you want to try to say, like, it's still good, but that's better. And I feel like it will never touch Daniel Warren Johnson's because it's just that was too good. But that's what I mean. That's why I brought this up. Just had that in my head. That's
fine.
If Daniel Warren Johnson done this, it'd be so much better.
I think the
well, if we're playing that game, if Alex Ross did it, it would be much better. Let's all pick our favorite artist to do it.
Alex Ross, as we've established, doesn't do good sequential art for comics. Nice covers.
So if we're playing at this, I think Dan Mora would have been done way better.
Yes. Dan Mora, get on this book and redo it, please.
Get on every book, mate. Get on every book.
Well, if we're going to play this game, if Chip Zdarsky wrote this book,
so we're just
and if DC published it, it'd be even better.
Whoa. Image. And we've also got a page from Liam as well. So this is his page. It was nearly going to be my pick. But yeah, this is the very epic scene where the sun is, the fire and the heat from the sun is, really about to come and kill and burn the Guardians of the Galaxy. But Gamora decides to get Quasar to shield her. But she's got her healing factor, which she mentions all the time. That she can make it, she can save the team, and she ends up getting severely burnt. Saves the team anyway, and then spends the rest of the whole book burnt essentially in this cloak and no hair, bubbly skin. Not the best to look at, but very admirable. The kind of action she took out. But Lee said. The art is excellent in this page, from the gruesome detail of Gamora's sacrifice to Drax's belief in Gamora with an almost sadistic smile. It really captures the desperate situation they're in and the lengths they're willing to go to for each other when the time calls for it. Yeah.
Yes, but again, was that planted by Mantis? Would she have tried to sacrifice herself to save everyone if Mantis hadn't have planted that little thing in her head?
So you're like rethinking,
everyone's actions throughout the entire book.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, to be honest.
Yeah. Can I just quickly show you this? This is the page that reminded me of the Grinch with his, I can't remember the dog's name in Grinch. It's just the way it's positioned on the page and the way he's looking.
Yes.
But look, that is not a good rocket face, is it?
If Marvel had used their favorite color green there, that would be the Grinch 100%.
It's quite punchy.
It's just not a great rocket face.
See, just referring to sorry, what do you call it? The Gamora thing where she has this healing power. That's something I didn't know, obviously, from the movies. And I know the movies don't take everything.
She didn't have it in the film.
Exactly. So I know, obviously, they don't. She ain't so sadistic.
A savage, mate. Jesus.
But
Drax next.
Yeah, I just feel like that's something that would have been good. The movies, I suppose, they couldn't have killed her in Infinity War, in all fairness. But I just feel like there's details like that aren't that big of a deal, but can make the movie a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, just give Gamora healing powers in the MCU, please.
Yeah, because it clearly doesn't compete with Wolverine or Deadpool. It's not as quick as that. She's a very slow healer, but it comes in super handy when you're being thrown off a cliff by your dad. So,
spoilers, no. Everyone knows.
But that's the thing. I just think with Gamora in the movies, I felt like she was strong, she was fast, but I didn't get the impression she was like invincible or something. We're here essentially. She kind of is. She could.
Well, yeah, that's the sun.
Exactly, that's the sun. And how close was the sun? Like she could cope with that, and just like a wee sunburn, I'll cope with no problem. Factor 50, get me through this, okay?
Get some chamomile lotion on it, you'll be fine.
Exactly, but I feel like that's a pretty big thing for the book. I think they should have had that in the movies, and it's just a shame.
Well, there's always the next film. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? Story then, writing. we touched on earlier that this was this is a fresh start for the Guardians of the Galaxy title. We've got this new team. How did you guys feel about that? How did you guys feel about the team, like with the addition of, we all know the classic team members from in terms of the MCU, but then how did you feel about Adam Warlock and Quasar, things like that joining in?
I don't know a lot about Adam Warlock or Quasar, to be honest. I basically next to nothing. And then Nova had a brief appearance at the start, didn't he, Richard Rider? And I think I couldn't help but get the feeling they Marvel didn't care about this book. They kind of threw it together after Annihilation Conquest, because Nova was obviously doing his own thing somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then obviously they took over this book with the Secret Invasion stuff. So this wouldn't have been an important book for Marvel. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It wasn't and it was never going to be, I suppose, really. But I just sometimes I feel like with people like Adam Warlock, who they've used in the past, he was involved with the Infinity Gauntlet, wasn't he? Shane, do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
My knowledge of him is very limited.
But that's what I mean. I feel like they're just trying to get people that they used in the past. They need to keep using and throw them together in a team to make it work. Just like ones that haven't done anything with in a while. Get these all together, put them in a team, and see what happens.
Maybe to keep the copyright to them. Maybe they have a set amount of time between having, like the Supergirl from last week.
Yeah,
they have to use a character within a certain amount of time, otherwise they lose the right to the name. So they're like, here's a list of 20 characters we need to use this year. Pick as many as you want for your team and have at it.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That this was like a second-rate kind of book that they needed to put it together to use the characters. And as we know, they weren't a team before. Like they weren't the Guardians of the Galaxy before this. So these are all characters that have been doing different things in the Marvel comic universe and being put together for this. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because I think from here, as a good starting point, I think they've established themselves going forward, especially with the movies. But at this time, I'm thinking to myself that this is just kind of thrown together.
How frustrating must that be for like a publisher's like legal team to be like, oh, right, these characters, we're running out of time on them. We got to use them in something. All right, okay, just chuck them in there. Chuck them as a team. Do whatever. That must be so like stressful. Obviously for a publisher that big, you're going to want to keep all of your characters, but then you've got to worry about making it a good story using that character. You can't just go, right, just chuck anything out. You're going to have a talented writer who's able to think of something new and deep and be able to hook existing readers, new readers in, whatever, to attract them to that character. Geez, first time I'm thinking about this, that sounds so stressful, man.
But that's the good thing about this being done in 2008. I feel like people cared a bit more about the work that they were doing on comic books back then compared to today. Like they did care. They got the right teams together. They communicated with the artists, and you can tell there's this back and forth with them, which we don't have today. I mean, and Andy Lanning, he's fantastic. I met him like 15 years ago at a signing at a little comic book shop in London, and he signed a Wonder Woman book for me because he worked on Gods of Gotham, I believe. Right. No, that's the wrong one. It might have been Gods of Gotham. I'm not sure. But I met him with Phil Jimenez, who drew my Wonder Woman head. That's why I remember Andy Lanning.
Right.
He was
nice.
But yeah,
so basically,
Shane's just saying Wonder Woman book.
Shane's just saying he's really good because he's his best friend, just like Dan Mora and Scott's best friend. It's like,
no, because he worked on Wonder Woman. That's why he's really good.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, are you good because you work on Wonder Woman, or Oh,
no, back in the 2000s, you had to be good to work on Wonder Woman.
Right.
Now it's just anyone can work on Wonder Woman. No one cares anymore.
Yeah, you can have a go if you want. You can have a go.
But Billy from Starbucks, he can work on the decent enough coffee. Just give him the script.
Martin is helping us out here, saying Max is the name of the dog from Grinch.
How could I forget?
Connie is saying a quick hi. She can't stay, but she's going to catch the rewind. Hey, thank you very much. James is here. Excelsior Herders. Hi, James. Thank you for joining. And Martin is saying as well, he liked the additions to the team, but he wishes there was more Groot.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
I think that's the thing with the movies, for example, like Groot was the big attraction for a lot of people. Like he would have sold, I'd imagine, the most merchandise, like figures, teddy bears, whatever. Like Groot was the main draw. I think for this book, they needed more Groot. I think. I'd imagine, obviously, as he grows and sprouts or whatever, he's gonna be more involved. But I just think Martin's right. Need more Groot for this.
They're saving him for a big bad, aren't they?
Yeah, and the comedy, to be fair, the comedy in this book was very similar to that of the movies. The only difference I really thought about was the whole Drax thing. Drax seemed a bit more intelligent in this comic.
I find it interesting. I find it interesting that you think there's comedy in this book.
When I say comedy, it's okay. There was no LOL moments for me, but I can tell they're trying with some comedy, especially with Rocket. You know, Rocket Raccoon had a few moments, and it was very similar to the movies.
Yeah, Rocket was very similar to, well, you know, the movies were very similar to this.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
Yeah, we'll say that. But yeah, no, I didn't think there was any purposeful comedic factors written into this. I think, you know, maybe you would have found what Rocket was saying comedic because of just the way he is and that's his personality. It's a bit, you know, blunt, a bit sassy maybe now and again. But I don't think any of it was like, you know, let's write something funny, you know. I still think it was quite a serious story. I have a question about the team like meeting up. Like, I know it was all like, you know, a little plot from Pete and Mantis to get the whole team together, but do we see anything? So do they get together in Annihilation Conquest? Is that how they meet? Is that how they become like a bit of a team? I'm just confused because this is a volume 1, you know, pretty much the first page we see the whole team together in the middle of this big fight in the big flying church. So yeah, like how did they get together? That's the bit that's getting me a bit.
Yeah, they didn't really establish that in this comic. Again, I can't think myself how it worked out in Annihilation Conquest, or they obviously were together, but it's one of those things. I think just Star-Lord having known the characters, like he was asked to put a team together, wasn't he? And he just thought of these people he knew from what happened before, who were obviously involved. And again, they're not going to pick Iron Man or Captain America. They want the cosmic stuff, so they just thought, who's in space, who's nearby, you know. But you're right. I think they could have done a better job of establishing how the team came together. You know.
Yeah. Like I think. Go on, Shane.
No. Go on.
I think when we were talking about Supergirl last week, you know, Shane mentioned maybe there should be something at the start just to explain what was going on. So maybe we could have appreciated something like that at the start of this, saying how the team met, how they got together, how they are where they are right now. And it probably would have been a good selling point for Marvel anyway, to go, you know, these all met in the Annihilation Conquest kind of run. Go and read that if you want to know how this quirky team got together.
Like on the front of on the first page when you open it, it could have a previously in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
You know, and it just has a blurb that just tells you about the characters in this and what they were doing to the build up of the first page. That's all. You know, just to get you in, so you're like, right, I know how he knows them now. I don't have to go back and read 5 years worth of comics to get up to speed. Just one page. You know, someone just has to write 2 or 3 sentences to just get you up to speed. And they do it in other books for monthly books to tell you what happened in the previous month. They could do it for this.
And the thing is, you just don't live in the story. You can see all these debrief panels where they're talking with Mantis. I really hate those. They're really boring.
Same.
But they could have had that at the start. In issue 1, have your debriefing, and then even like Rocket Raccoon telling us, the reader, how they all came about, and have some kind of images that maybe even get grayed out because it's like, this is the past type of thing. Here's what happened. You know, that would have been utilize that debrief panel better than what we actually got, because I hate those. Again, for the first issue, that's fine, but every issue, because it makes you not want to care, because, well, you know they're alive. There's no point. They're alive because he's telling the story what happened at this mission. And I just hated those panels. So they could have done that better by maybe telling us what happened in the actual past. And I give us a more linear story from here.
Yeah, totally. Maybe we should talk about what actually happened in the book, like the rest of the story that's going on. We had them trying to close the fissures, and they had the reveal of Major Victory.
That was very Avengers, wasn't it? You know, finding Captain America frozen in ice. All right, it was time ice, but it was still Captain America frozen in ice.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
What was his name again? Sorry.
Major Victory.
I'm just writing that down for whenever he played No Man's Land again.
Nice. Good. Yeah, good idea. Good idea. So we had that.
I just think it was okay, but there was like the whole Starhawk thing. Like a lot of it doesn't make sense until you get the full story. Which I'm assuming for as a volume 1, they're laying the groundwork essentially for these stories to happen later in the line. And I feel like it's hard to comment fully and if you like these bits because they didn't really finish. They didn't provide you that much. It's just here's something happen. Here's these church and their kind of Nazgul looking characters, like this Commodore of the Rings, obviously, and then like the whole Major Victory and Starhawk, and then you had the Skrulls, and the Skrulls seemed to dominate overall the whole story because even the fact that they couldn't leave nowhere, and that Adam Warlock went into like the brain of the Celestial because he thought, well, we need to find these Skrulls because we can't get out without finding these Skrulls. We can't do our job without finding these guys. So that took over the whole story. It just feels like you're getting 3 or 4 different things happening all at once. And I get it. It is a volume 1. You're laying the groundwork. You're setting kind of things in motion for down the line. But I just think it would be nice to focus on maybe just one of those more.
Yeah. I feel like the first 4 and then the last 2 are completely separate.
Yeah.
Like they could have just done the first volume could have been issues 1 to 4, and then I know they're tie-ins because they have to tie in with Secret Invasion, but it just seemed to just take a sharp turn to just be dealing with the Skrull.
Yeah. Reading that kind of made me think, you know, when were the writers made aware that this was going to happen? It did kind of feel like, you know, we're going this way. We'll do this for a bit and then we'll go back on track, you know. That's how it felt. Just very sudden and like, oh, okay. Skrulls now. All right. We'll.
Yeah, because the what was her name? The matriarch. Does she have another name, or is that her name? Leader of the church.
That's the only one I remember.
So it's like she could have been, you know, like a volume 1. We could have had more of her. Like she also seems very menacing. She's there in the background pulling the strings, but she's not really doing anything. I would have seen something more of her in that story. And then move on to the Skrull stuff. I think you're right, Scott. I think they had this plan to do like a volume 1, and then they were just kind of told to deviate from this, do the Skrull stuff for a few issues, and then we'll come back to that. Where if they had more time, like 2 more issues, do your arc, do your volume 1, then do the Secret Invasion stuff. It's just a shame.
The little bit I do know about Secret Invasion is that some people are Skrulls, and I think some of them don't even know that they're Skrulls, if I'm right, Phil?
Oh, I can't remember, but they touched on that slightly whenever Mantis said she couldn't find them because they're so good at hiding that they're Skrulls that maybe that they don't know they're Skrulls, you know?
Yes, because the reason I'm asking is when Drax has his big idea, you know, to kill everyone for a split second so that he can find the Skrulls, on his little sensor, there are 6 dots when he says, I found the Skrulls, but there are only 4 Skrulls, Cosmo and Adam Warlock in that room. Yeah, so but are Cosmo and Adam Warlock Skrulls?
I just thought were the other ones the 2 dead ones we see at the start.
They're all in the same room on his sensor panel. So I was just wondering if anyone knows if Adam Warlock is a Skrull. And Cosmo as well, because they were the only 6 in that room. 4 Skrull with Adam Warlock and Cosmo.
Oh man.
I can't remember.
Look at this now.
If anyone in the chat knows.
So yeah, there's 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, he's right.
Oh.
Well, they.
Go on, sorry. Go on, Phil.
It's just something I picked up and I was wondering.
Yeah. You're the only one out of the 3 of us that counted.
Kev is confirming that some people don't realize they are Skrulls. So Captain Marvel didn't know. at the time. So yeah, you're right. Maybe Cosmo and Adam Warlock are Skrulls, and they don't know it.
And they just,
But Mantis does refer to the fact that somebody is going to backstab or turn on the team, and you know it's Adam Warlock. You just know it is because I think
can't trust someone with a name like Warlock.
Yeah, and he just looks too clean cut as well. Like he's just he's too good and too noble. Like go away. So I think he's one to watch out for. So maybe because he has a Skrull, that's why he turns on everybody. But then this is the thing too with Secret Invasion and the Skrull and the Kree and stuff. Like if the Skrull becomes somebody or whatever hides themselves in their bodies, do they have the same like power skill set?
They can replicate them, can't they? Because you know, Super Skrull has the entire Fantastic Four's power set.
Street. All right, let's stop thinking about that. I'm going to get a headache. Liam has asked a question. Well, first of all, ABZ Comics is here. Hello, thank you for joining. Liam has asked, if Warlock and Cosmo were Skrulls, it would explain how Cosmo was able to combat Warlock.
True.
Dun, dun, dun.
See, paying attention to what you're reading can be fun, kids.
Man, I don't know about this. Yeah, well, you know, maybe if anyone ever does read on, then they can let us know if they want, or they can just make us read on and pick in it for another Herd's Choice. But that is something that has now intrigued me. Good. Definitely, for sure. But okay, let's forget about the fact that Cosmo and Adam could be Skrulls. I thought Cosmo was awesome in this. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. You know, being the head of security for Nowhere, having these powers, seeing how powerful he can be, how strong he is. I thought it was just great. You know, he's trying to be a good boy, but you know, but he has to put his foot down sometimes. I liked one of the lines in it. He was really mad at Star-Lord, and he just said, "Stay." And I was like, yes, this is so good. But yeah, I really enjoyed the parts with Cosmo. Like at the start, I wasn't that fussed because, like I said, all I knew about him was just the few cameos he's made in the MCU. But now that I've seen this, I've got a bit more of respect, and you know, I like him. He's a cool character.
When he first appeared, I was expecting him to be like a nothing kind of character, just there for a few laughs and just there for the cuteness type of thing. But then when they actually used him properly, it was quite good. And again, what they've kind of done in terms of like adding layers on the characters and relationships, the fact that Cosmo and Rocket have issues, but they didn't really do anything with that, didn't unravel that more. It does make you intrigued. But yeah, he was a cool character. I tried to kind of talk him whatever accent he was trying to. Instead of like
Russian, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it didn't.
Yeah, he's meant to be like her, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's just I need to put voices on when I'm reading certain characters, and I couldn't do one for him because I couldn't quite grasp it.
Scooby-Doo's voice works; it's fine.
I'm not gonna lie. I had more like a Scrappy-Doo in there. It was what I was thinking.
Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah. But yeah, but he was good fun. I liked him.
So I have a question. Who do we think's in the cocoon that the Cardinals have after they stabbed Adam Warlock? Oh, you think it's the real Adam Warlock?
We spoke about this in terms of he could be a Skrull. Right. I might think it's the real Adam Warlock is in there.
What?
So he'll come out. They'll have an Adam Warlock battle, and that will be a type of thing. Because he also doesn't know he's the Skrull then. So he thinks he's Adam Warlock.
I missed him in what?
The very last issue, whenever the matriarch comes, and they said, what was the wording they used? Remember they stabbed him, so they had the blood sample, and then they done like analysis on the blood. It's like it's just confirmed. It's Adam Warlock, and then she turned to the cocoon and goes, "Well, who's in here then?" Because Adam Warlock is cocooned and whatever. Scott needs to go back and read this book.
Jeez, I think the last issue.
I think it was the last page.
No, I think that was issue 4.
Oh, was
it issue 4? I think, yeah.
Okay.
God. All right, you keep talking. I'm gonna.
But see, now that we're talking about this, like the fact that he could be a Skrull, maybe that is the real Adam Warlock in the cocoon. So that's again. But then I don't know how the scrolls work. Maybe guys would confirm this, but if they replicate everything, does that include like their blood DNA as well? I suppose. Do you know what I mean? So if they're able to tell that's Adam Warlock, I don't know. It's who is in the cocoon.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I've totally missed something here. I must have skimmed past this bit. I'll have to look into it later on. But yeah, not a clue what's going on right now.
Not a clue what's going on. Where am I? Who are you people?
I just looked through issue 4 and I can't see anything about this cocoon.
It must have been the very last page. Is that? It was the very last page of issue 4.
The very last page of issue 4 is Drax lock and loading, getting ready to do his business and kill everyone for a minute and a half.
Page 74. It must be.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, totally disregarded that.
It looks like Goldilocks' wig, doesn't it?
Just some sort of wig that a judge would wear.
Yeah. It's just that. Again, I hadn't thought about it at the time, but also when you mentioned that's now what I'm thinking. I'm hoping for, because that'll be quite good to have 2 Adam Warlocks battle it out.
Yeah.
Destroy it in space and create their own black holes all through space because they're so overpowered.
And so that's going to be the one that turns on the team in 9 months.
Yeah. But sure, now we don't know because is it Starhawk? Is that called this character?
Yeah, Starhawk.
And obviously the future's now different because Mantis has said this wasn't meant to happen. So they're now heading to a future that she does not know. So it's interesting.
Yeah, okay. Are you guys ready for final thoughts?
Yeah.
To be fair, this book is very dense. Even though it's a normal 6 issues, there's a lot of different little storylines going on. And I think we could spend probably another half an hour to an hour talking about all the rest of the stuff. But we don't have that sort of time. So maybe we should just go on to our verdicts. And maybe we can come more to that at a later date. Maybe we can talk about it at the end of the season show. But yes, let's give our thoughts and scores. Phil, we'll start with you, and everyone else in the chat. If you've read along, please give your score. We'll add it together to give you an average, and then we'll add that to ours. Over to you, Phil.
I am a little bit torn. The Marvel cosmic stuff, a lot of people can really love it, and they can really hate it. And in this book alone, you can almost see why people hate it, because they try and put too much into it. And even like I mentioned, like the names of like the cities, the towns, or the planets, or whatever, and then all these different alien species, and kind of throw it in. It's just like they're giving you a lot of information that you don't really need. And even when it comes like scientific ways how to defeat enemies, like they're putting a lot of information in. And sometimes this is why I prefer street level heroes, you know. But I still like this. I think the artwork was grand. It wasn't bad. It wasn't spectacular. I think we had some good pages to show. Some good splash pages. I think some of the characters I really enjoyed. You know, I'm always going to like the main hero. I like Star-Lord in it. I like Gamora. I still like Rocket. And again, Cosmo. They're all very good and add something. But again, there's just too many things happening all at once. This kind of church of whatever it was called, Universal Church of Truth. You had this council who I really hated. This council, whatever they were called. Like that's why my name is I Am Not So Sure, because she was called Sino Sure. It's like,
oh yeah,
they're just making name like random. You know what I mean? Like random words up. It's just, I don't like it. It's just going too random. Yeah, again, throwing the scroll stuff in, which I quite like, but it doesn't really fit in to the whole thing overall, I don't think. The inclusion of Major Victory, again, it's all strange, but I still liked it. But just, I don't know if I liked it enough to want to read on myself. I don't think I am going to read for very long. However, if someone was to pick it for a future Herd's Choice, I'd be happy to read on to see what occurs and who's in that cocoon. So I'll stop rambling on. 6.5 is where I'm going with, because I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. It was good. It was a solid start to the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know it.
Okay, Shane.
I feel like Phil just literally took my final thoughts word for word.
I seen your feed.
Like, I'm not fussed with these characters, if I'm honest. I don't mean it in a nasty way, but I don't really care about any of them. If they show up in other books that I'm reading, I'm like, okay. But this was a decent enough way to introduce them into their own book and create a team out of them. So that's pretty pretty good for me, like personally, for me to feel that about them. I think the art really good in some places, not so in others. It's a little bit inconsistent. The story's a bit of a mismatch. It's a mismatch, isn't it? It's like it's half of this and half of that, and half a dozen of one thing and half a dozen of another, and it's just like this should be 2 trades, and I think it would read a little bit better. I love the character designs for all of them apart from Star-Lord. I can't get past seeing him as a Nazi officer. I can't do it. He just looks like a Nazi. Gas mask, metal helmet, like the uniform. That's all I can see when I look at him. This was like entertaining enough to keep me reading. I didn't want to put it. It wasn't one of those books that I wanted to put it down and not come back to. So it had that going for it. But at the same time, it's not something that I want to read on with by choice. Like, I'm not saying gun to my head. I'm saying if it pops up for a nerd herd, then yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't pick it. But yeah, I think it's good to jump on here if you like any of these characters. If you want to see what started the movie off, because I'm sure a lot of it was taken from this. I think for me, it's got to be a 6.5 as well.
Okay, cool. We've got 2 scores in so far. We'll go through them now. So Liam says, I enjoyed this, but when I got to the end, I felt like it could have been shorter. And I think what Shane said earlier about 1 to 4 being separate to 5 and 6 was bang on. I will read on. 7 out of 10. Thank you very much, Lee.
I've heard this as a Liam pick. I give this a 4 to 10. That's what he does.
Martin as well. He says, I like this, but I didn't love it. The story was okay, but it was jam-packed for 6 issues. I'm interested to read on, but I would only be doing it to see more Groot. 6.5 from me. I think I'm of the same opinion as everyone here. It was a really pretty book to look at, but the fact that there were so many smaller stories going on, and it did feel packed, it felt dense, it didn't give me enough time to get invested into each storyline that was happening, and it then just gave me the feeling that I was just going through the motions. I wasn't really I couldn't get attached to what was going on. I was just seeing this drama unfold, and that was that for me. But yeah, it was fun, but yeah, I don't want to read on. I'm not bothered about reading on, but I'm happy to read on if we get it for the herd. Because this isn't Snot Girl. I'm not gonna go out and buy this straight away, just like I did with Snot Girl. But exactly the same as you boys, I'm also going for a 6.5.
The first of the year.
The first one of the year where we've all picked the same score. And Liam is the only one who hasn't picked the same score. But there we go. But yeah, those are the scores. Scores are in. So with Liam's 7 and Martin's 6.5, that gives him an average of 6.8. Adding that to all of our 6.5s, we get an average of 6.6. So let's take a look where that goes on the leaderboard. 6.6. Is that enough for the top 10?
Ooh.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
There we go. So it'll come into 7th place now, pushing Vampire State Building and Maniac of New York down 1. And here's the rest of the leaderboard as well for you guys to see.
Another one of mine gets knocked out of the top 10.
Well, my pick last week. Well, no, it wasn't last week. Was Snot Girl last week? No, it wasn't. A couple of weeks ago, didn't even make it to the top 10. So don't worry about it.
No surprise there.
And this book is not that. This book is not Snot Girl.
I know, it's so much worse. But yeah, so there we go. We will come to tell you what we've got coming up on the Nerd Herd channel for the rest of the show now. But we have one little special thing to do at the moment. Shane, whose birthday is it tomorrow?
Mine.
It is Shane's birthday tomorrow, everyone, and we've done a little bit of a slight version of a whip round. Shane, we've all a bunch of us have recorded a little bit of a video to show you, to wish you a happy birthday. So here it is.
Birthday, Shane. We've put on a party for you here at the Angel Grove Youth Centre. All the guys are here. Zach, Jason, Billy. Hey Matt, come and wish Shane a happy birthday.
Thanks, James. Shane, have an amazing birthday. It's kicking off here. You've got to get yourself down. We're dancing, there's music. It's really cool. Even Kimberly wants to say happy birthday. So Shane, have an amazing time. Big love from This Week in Metropolis, and we will see you soon. Bye on.
Hey Shane, I heard you've got a big birthday coming up, so I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and let you know that I've got something in progress. It should be coming in the post soon, so keep an eye out for that and just have a good birthday.
Happy birthday, Shane. I hope you have a great day and take a break from planning your next quiz.
Hi,
Shane,
happy
40th,
birthday.
the
Big
4.
O.
Wow.
Here's to many more.
Hope you have a great day. Love, Liam
And Beth. Bye.
Fuck, Shane. Mr. Quizzler, happy birthday. When you told us how old you were going to be, I thought, no way. You do not look a day over 39. You have to let me know your skincare routine. But yeah, seriously, happy birthday. Have a good one. I have a party to get to over at Angel Grove, so maybe I'll see you there. Peace.
Hey Shane, when the lads messaged me this week about doing a birthday message for you, how could I say no? You know, it's a special birthday for you. It's your big 4-0. You know, that's nothing to be scared of though, because what they say is 40 is the new 30. So mate, enjoy it. I hope you get everything you want that day, and I hope you have a nice, chilled, relaxed one. So from me, I wish you all the best, mate. Wish you a happy birthday, and I look forward to celebrating with you on your birthday quiz. Take care.
Hello! Just a quick message to say happy birthday. I hope that you have a great day, and thank you for all that you do in facilitating the quiz and the Nerd Herd and just bringing a bit of fun to the UK comic book community. So have a great day.
Happy birthday! 40 years. That's ages. That's 10 more than us. That's a while. But congratulations, you've made it to 40. You've been an absolute pleasure to do everything on the Nerdhood with, and you've. I'll say now, I've enjoyed the quizzes.
I've loved them. Some of them I know the answers to. I've loved them.
But yeah, so you've been absolutely fantastic. It's been a pleasure to know you, and I'm glad we have our friendship. Here's a fun fact. In January 1983, the year you were born, 40 years ago, the Wonder Woman issue that was out at the time was Wonder Woman 299. There we go, little fun fact. But that's it. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, and keep up the sass. I love it.
There we go. Happy birthday, Shane.
That was lovely. Thank you.
We all love you very much. You do a lot for the community, just like Connie said. But yeah, so we hope you have a fantastic day tomorrow.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. You got me there.
Oh man, yes, we got him. But yes, there we go. Back to regular programming now. We'll just go ahead and tell you what we've got coming up for the rest of the on the Nerdhood channel. We've got Kevin. He's going to be showing you how to make a comic book. He's not showing you how to draw anything in particular. He's showing you how to make comics, which is going to be awesome. Bit of a longer video than usual, but it's definitely going to be a good one. And we should go ahead and as well show you what we've got coming up next week. It's Phil's pick, and here we go. Philip, what are we talking about next week?
Well, seeing as it's Shane's birthday week, what better way to celebrate with his favourite artist Alex Ross.
Dan
But he's
Moore.
on- yeah. But Alex Ross is on writing duty as well, and that's Fantastic Four full circle. So look forward to that. And he didn't paint this; he drew this like the proper way that you do like comic books with pencils and stuff.
Right, cool, nice, great. Well, there we go. So we've got Kevin on tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We've got us next week. We've got us next week at the usual time, Wednesday 9:30. And there's only one thing left to do now. That is to get our pre-birthday waves out. Happy birthday! Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Love you.